Welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness, and I am super psyched and super excited tonight because I have finally got my Bones 5 Kickstarter, so I can begin to paint in all those beautiful miniatures. And today we are starting on the War Mammoth. Absolutely beautiful miniature. This was one of the first miniatures that I saw from the Bones 5 Kickstarter by Reaper Miniatures that I was like, yeah, gotta have it, gotta have it. Okay, I'm quickly say hello to everybody in chat because I can see it's flying up. Scorpler, Michelle, hello Michelle, and Ty. I hope you're feeling okay, Ty. Bull GM, hello. Konani, I hope I said that right. I apologise if I'm saying your names incorrectly. There's Bull GM's in the house, Mockai's in the house, Cold Air's in the house, and that's it. Yeah, I saw you, Tal. Tal's like, I'm here. Okay, thank you all for popping on and tuning in tonight. It is really exciting for me tonight because, like I say, we've got the Bones 5 in now. So I am doing videos every single day of unboxing all the lovely goodness from Reaper Miniatures, and it's a really exciting time, but very, very busy because I have to sort out all the miniatures. Okay, so this is the War Mammoth. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you for subscribing, Nath, and welcome. I'll give you a little 360. What I'm doing today, I've got a little base boss base, and as you can see, I've already mounted the Mammoth. This is a 120mm base boss base from Reaper Miniatures, and I've put some PVA glue on there, and it's just got some sand from the beach that has been washed and dried and stuck to the base. But it's an absolutely gorgeous miniature. Now today we should be able to get through the whole thing because we'll just fly through it, but I'll show you the paints that I'm using today. We're going to do the fur. For the fur, we are using Shield Brown. We're using Fireball Orange, and we shall be using some Graveyard Bone. Now, I've already given a primer coat to the miniature all over the fur with the Wood Stain Brown, and as you know, that's my favourite brown. So let's get cracking, shall we? Hello, Dawn. If I've missed anybody in chat, I do apologise. I do apologise if I haven't called your name out. Got the old mixer going, the old Warthog. So we got some orange. This is a Fireball Orange. I get some Shield Brown onto my little palette as well. Now it's a super simple paint. So it should be acceptable for all of you to have a go at if you've got this actual miniature. And because it's lots of fur, it's very simple. Lots of dry brushing, and you all know I love my dry brushing. But what I'm going to be showing you today is I'm going to show you the fur. I'll be painting the eyes. I'll be showing you how to do the tusks, all the leather, and well, we'll see how we get on. Are we not going to talk about the elephant in the room? I saw that. Okay, that should be enough paint on there for now. Okay, so I'm just using a big terrain brush from Army Painter, and what we're going to do is we're going straight into that Shield Brown, going onto my tissue, and we're just going to go over all the fur areas and get that brown on there. Now it's a heavy dry brush, and you don't have to worry about going over the rest of the miniature because, as I always tell you when you're doing a miniature, always do your dry brushing first on the fur or wherever you are going to do your dry brushing, because that means you're going to be painting over the rest of the miniature later on, so it doesn't matter if you make a mess. Ooh, these tusks are knocking all my stuff over. Let's move those back a little bit. There we go. By using the little base on underneath, It gives me I'm able to swivel this around very much easier than if it was flat. If it was like this, it makes it quite difficult. It grips so like this, I can spin it around nice and easy. Now I did have a little turntable, but I've lost it somewhere in my piles of minis all around the house. So we just fly around this. Just get the brown all over the fur. Wherever there's a bit of the fur, we just add in this brown. Thank you for subscribing, Ernie Hammer. Very, very simple to do fur. Now, all my videos and all my tutorials. Thank you for subscribing, Renegade Shank, and welcome, Shank. I am wearing your shorts as we speak. They are so refreshing. They are so refreshing and cool. Normally I got a thick pair of jeans on. I haven't got any shorts, and Renegade Shank sent me some Cookie Monster shorts. So I'm wearing them, and oh, it's so much nicer in my workshop because it's a lot cooler. Eat my shorts. Okay, so carrying on. So we've just got a nice little layer of the shield brown going over the dark brown. So what we do then, we're going straight into that orange, and we're mixing that orange in with the shield brown on my tissue. Thank you for the shouts. Cheers, sorry. And we're going to just start going over with the orange. This gives a nice lovely effect to the fur. Now what's going to happen is it's going to look quite bright because we've got these colours, but we're going over the whole fur with a dark brown ink wash, so it will really tone the colours down. So having a bright colour like this really works well for the fur on the Mammoth. Thank you for subscribing. Tyvaris, got you. You'll have to excuse my squinting because I'm looking right in front. Thank you for subscribing. I can't read the names. Advid Piglass. Advid Piglass. My monitor is quite far away, so and I got old man eyes. Oh, is it the who is BullGM gifting tears? Thank you so much, BullGM. That's really, really kind of you. Really kind of you. Thank you. Okay, so we got that orange on, and it's already looking fab. So what we got now is we got the graveyard bone, and we're just going to add some of that graveyard bone into the mix. And we're just going to pull that up along the fur as well. This is just a lighter on the highest areas. This will blend in with the orange as well. And as you can see, the fur is starting to pop all over the Mammoth now. And that's how simple it is to get some fur on your Mammoth. Okay. Now, so far that's good enough for the fur. Let me just wash my brush and I'll show you what I do next. Let's get this back in focus. Now the next part is we add the brown ink wash. Now what I'm going to use for the brown ink wash is I'm using Agrax Earthshade, and that's going to go over the complete fur areas. Now I'm just going to give you a little hint of the actual ink going on, and then we'll move on to my second Mammoth that I painted before the show, so we can move on past the ink wash stage. I got everything planned to perfection tonight. I've got that Blue Peter special going, so once we've finished with the ink wash here, we can just leave this miniature dry and we can move on to the next miniature, and I can show you exactly what to do with the next one. But I just want to show you how quickly it is, just the difference it makes adding that brown ink wash on top of this fur here. So this is the Agrax Earthshade. So I'm just going to quickly show you this because I think it's important to show you how much of a difference it is to actually use a nice ink wash on these miniatures. All we do is we just go over with the ink wash, and because we've kind of dry brushed that paint on fast, it's already dry. And as you can see, that brown ink wash is going into all the recesses, and it's pushing the colours and making the fur look absolutely fab on the actual Mammoth. So that's all you need to do for the fur on the Mammoth. Once the ink wash is dry, you can go over with another little dry brush just to highlight the fur a little bit more. So I'm just dabbing this paint on, just getting into the recesses. And we just let that dry, and then you just move on to the next stage. Now, like I say, I've already painted a Mammoth before the show, so I painted one so we could move on after I'd done the fur. But I wanted to show you the fur because that's the main part of the Mammoth, and I just wanted to show you how simple and easy it is to make a very effective looking fur effect to your Mammoth. And there we are. That's all we need to do. A little bit more up there. Okay, so just to recap on the fur on the Mammoth. Now, to start with, we've got a undercoat, primer coat of Woodstain Brown by MSP Paints. We then went for a Shield Brown, that's MSP Paints as well. And then we had the Fireball Orange, which is MSP Paints. And then we went straight into that Graveyard Bone. And that's just given us that lovely effect there. And then once that's dry, we move on to the second stage. So what happens now is I used some polished leather by MSP. Let me get a pointy stick. I'll use my paintbrush here. So the next stage is we paint all the leather. So I painted all the leather over here. In fact, I shall get the next Mammoth and show you how I'm getting on. So yeah, I've had a busy day today. I've been painting Mammoths all day long and having a great time. So this is the Mammoth up to date. Okay, so this is the Mammoth with the silver added. This is when the ink wash dries, it will go to this colour. And of course, what we do now is I've painted on polished leather by MSP. If I move this over here, you might be able to see it. There you go. So we've got polished leather all over the leather items here around the nose. We've also got it. Let me see if I can get a better picture for you. Let's get this out of the way. So we got the polished leather all around the legs here, on the back legs, and around here, and just around the nose and the trunk, sorry. And we moved on with the polished leather around here as well. Now, what I've done also is I've got this is a Veleco Model Air paint, and it is silver, and I've painted it on, and that's going over all these areas here, all the chain mail, and all the places with the chains, and we got some chains going through the fur as well. So that's all been painted with that silver. Now MSP do an absolutely amazing. Hello Tommy. I better say happy birthday to Tommy, who's in chat. Tommy is an absolutely amazing guy. He is 32 years younger than me, practically. But it's his birthday, and he's in the Goblin Army. He is an absolutely amazing guy. Everybody loves him to bits, including me. And it is his birthday today, so happy birthday, Tommy. Love you to bits, mate. Love you to bits. Okay, going back, MSP have an actual paint, and I know Rod, if Rod's in chat, is Rod in chat tonight? Oh, hello, long stripy scarf. Now, Rod likes to know his paints. Now, there he is. There's hello, Rod. Now, this is ivory. Reaper Miniatures actually do a Tusk ivory paint colour. So if you want to paint your elephants, or any elephants, they've actually got a paint already mixed that is ivory. And as you can see, that's the colour that I've added to the tusks. So we got all that lovely ivory colour on all the tusks areas. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to start working with the ink washes. I'll paint the eyes in first, so you can see what elephant's eyes, how easy it is to paint elephant eyes. So for the eyes on this elephant, we are using solid white by MSP. What's... I thought Rod you might like that paint. It's really is a beautiful colour, and I had to do 3 coats, by the way. It was 3 coats of ivory on top, because this was brown, so you need at least 3 coats to get a really nice coat over the bone parts of the mammoth. Now for the eyes, all we need is a little bit of white. I mean, I'm just using a big brush. Give it a little wash. I'll give it a little twirl just to get a nice point. I'll put it in my mouth, yum 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 yum, just to give it the extra yum 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 point. And what we do, I don't know if we can see this. Let's see if we can get some focus. I'm going to closer up, focus. There we go. Now, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. The elephant's got huge eyes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get some white in there. Boom, done. And we do the same on the other side. A little bit of white. Now, the key to painting elephant's eyes is elephants have tiny little pupils. So what we try to do is we put the most smallest of black in the center of the eye, because elephants always look scared for some reason. So we put in a tiny little bit of black for the pupil of the eye, but we'll just let that dry. But what we can do is we can start highlighting the levers. Now, as you can see on the lever here so far, I've already given the lever a brown wash. So it's got a nice brown wash going over the lever. So to highlight that lever, we're going back with the polished lever. And again, we've got a little bit of white on our palette there, so it's very simple to do. I'm using the same brush for everything tonight, nice and simple. Okay, so what we're doing for the lever is we're going back with the original lever, and what we're going to do is just add it to the highest areas. So just on the top of here, and also to the sides. So we're just going down the sides of the lever, and all the edges. We're just going along the edge. And over here. So just quickly going over the highest areas where it would be worn, or what you call stressed leather. Stressed leather. Actually, I got a little story for you. Both Claire and myself, we've put on a little bit of I call it COVID weight, because we're all stuck in the house, so we put on a few extra pounds. And I put on my trousers this morning, and my belt buckle. My belt buckle is on the very last notch. The very last notch of my belt. And I said to Claire, I said, you know why it's on the last notch, don't you? Because we've taken the dog out quite a few times in the rain. So I was trying to explain to Claire that leather shrinks, so my belt has got smaller. She wasn't having it. She didn't believe me. I think to be honest, we should blame Shank for our extra weight, all the cookies he sends us. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just highlighting the edges of the leather, and this really gives a nice effect to the actual miniature. So I can do that around all the leather areas. And it's just what it is. It's just where the buckle is going through the leather. What happens? You get that bulged area, and and all we do is we highlight that area because it's forced. Shut up, Shank. Oh dear me. So it's the stressed part of the leather, so, and that would be the part around the buckles. So all we're doing is doing an edge highlight as well. It's a very fast, simple process. You just go around the edges there, and you just add that to the leather. It's just a simple little thing. And of course we do it to the side here as well. I got that leather behind. So what we're going to do is just go down and around the bottom. We're taking up there, just around the edges of the bottom there, just a little bit. I mean, you can spend hours and hours and hours highlighting and making it stronger and stronger and look nicer and nicer. But like I've said to all my patrons, I've only got so many hours in a day I can paint, so I try to get my miniatures to the best as I possibly can, to a tabletop standard, and that's as far as I go. You can go miles further painting. I mean, you all know this. You can go so much further painting miniatures, but as long as I can get to a good tabletop standard, as I call it, I am good to go, you know. I mean, this is looking absolutely fantastic, you know. I've painted 3 of these today already, so I'm very, very happy. Rod, you as well? Oh my god. Yes. Mr. Cold there in chat, you should pop up. You can still pop over to say hello whenever you like. Please don't feel like you cannot come to see us. Okay, let's get these eyes finished, shall we? Right, so what we got? We need some black, and I've lost my black. What we got here? We got Nightmare Black. That'll have to do. Nightmare Black has got a little bit of blue in it, but it'll be fine for the eyes. Okay, so let's get those eyes finished on the Mammoth, and then we can move on to the metal areas. again, I'm just using the same brush, nice big pointy brush. Give it a little chew up. Okay, now for the eye, all we want is one little dot in the middle of the eye. It should be quite simple. Oh, there you go. 1 second. There you go. That's all you want. You just want a tiny, tiny little dot. A tiny little dot for your mammoth. And that gives it absolutely fantastic. So all that is white with the tiniest of little dots. And we do the same on the other side. It's quite a big miniature, so it's quite hard to get it in camera, so I do apologise if I'm all over the shop tonight. Okay, just so, again, a tiny little dot, and we're done. So, again, I'll show you. Just a tiny little dot. Is the focus working? Come on, come on. There you go, tiny little dot. And that's the eyes done. Absolutely awesome stuff. Okie dokie, let's move on a little bit more, see what time we're on. We're doing fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start showing you the ink washes for the metal, because what we need is some focus as well. Focus. What we need is some, this is too bright, this silver as it is. We want it to look worn. So what I'm going for, I'm using my old 90s, 80, late 80s, 90s wash from Games Workshop. Now the reason why I want to use this wash tonight is because it's a really, really thick black wash. Now you can add black paint to your black washes and that'll still give you the same effect. But I'm going to use this wash because I know it's absolutely awesome stuff. Although saying that, if you want a pot of this, it's going to set you back about £20–30 now. Limited edition paint. Oh, of course you do, Tommy. Of course you do. Right, I need to get prepped for this because this is quite a tricky one. Like I say, it's not a case of just splashing the paint on. We need to make that ink wash work for us. So let's again get some focus. So what you need to make this work is you need some tissue. So we got some nice. This is some kitchen towel. We got some cotton buds. Because what we're after is a mixture of the brown ink wash and the black ink wash, and we do it in stages. So we get both the ink washes ready. I'm just using a large brush here to apply the ink wash, but the black one goes on first. I'm going to take it off the stand now and see if I get the camera perfect so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going straight into the ink wash, and I've got my tissue in my other hand, and we're just going to apply that over the silver, being careful not to let it run onto the rest of the miniature. And while that's running into the rest of the silver, what we do is we dab the ink with our tissue. So what's happening, that gives a stressed metal effect. It gives a worn, not burnt, I'm trying to find the words here. It gives an old aged metal effect without needing to do any special type of highlighting. You can just do this, and we add, we take away, and as we get closer to the paintwork, we can add and take away so it doesn't ruin your paintwork. Going around the eye, add, take away, around the eye. And it would help if you could see what I'm doing. Add and taken away. We're just dabbing that tissue on like so, and as you can see, it's already aged that metal. So we let it go into the recesses, and we just take away. And we're using that tissue there to give it like a stippling effect with the ink wash. We're just letting the ink and the tissue do all the work for us. It makes it really, really simple. Okay, so that's looking absolutely fab so far. We're just letting some of the ink go into the recesses, taking away the ink. Just go over all the areas. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually start adding the brown. Okay, so now we're going into that brown ink wash, and as you can see, I've already got a very tarnished looking metal. Now what's going to happen, we're doing exactly the same effect, but we're using the brown ink wash this time, and we're just layering this on top of what we've just done, and this will give us an absolutely beautiful effect. So again, we're just adding that brown. This gives the metal a very worn, kind of almost like an old orcish metal effect. And again, we just add that all over the metal and take it away. So you've got a little bit of brown left into the recesses with the black, and this really works so well on metal. And like I say, it's so easy to do. It's just black ink wash and brown ink wash mixed together at the same time and taken away with a tissue, and you're getting this really nice effect. Now you can use this for vehicles as well. If you're doing tank models or 40k models, it gives a really nice effect as well. It just gives an aged look and a worn look to the metal. It doesn't look like the Mammoth has just come out of the local the local dry cleaners, you know. Again, we just go over certain areas. Now we can actually go to our cotton buds. We've got our little cotton buds, and we just take away a few little pieces here and there. We can go on the front and highlight. There you go. We'll go back over here, and we'll go back on with our brown. Back with the tissue. Over the top area, moving down. Again, we start removing that brown ink wash, and back into our brown, and we pull that brown ink wash down across the nose area. Again, removing. What I'm doing with the tissue is I'm not pulling off the paint, I am actually pushing. So that's why we're getting that like a stippling effect, because I see the tissue here, I'm going like this. I'm going like this on the metal. I'm not pulling it like this, so I'm not dragging the paint. I'm pushing the paint onto the metal. So I'm going like this, and that's taking little spots off, but it's giving a pattern from the tissue, because all tissues are porous. So you've got that effect going across the metal, and it actually works really well. Oh. It's so nice. My best friend is a complete psychopath. Okay. Let's move on to this bit. This will be a good part to show you for the actual metal work. But I don't know if you can see that. I mean, that's just fab. It just really does work. Once it all dries as well, it looks even better once it's dry. But we'll just carry on. I'll just give them a brush of wash. And we'll go straight back in over the metal areas again. Lovely. It's just amazing how quickly just by doing. Oh, I didn't realize my hands are in the way. You can't actually see what I'm doing. I'll try and do it with my other hand. In fact, I shall do it. I shall paint the miniature left-handed so you can actually see what I'm doing. So again, adding the ink wash and just taking it off with my tissue. And we do the same with this black ink wash. We can add it to that chainmail there. Just let it go into the chainmail. And yes, I'm painting with my left hand. Shank, shut up. Before Shank says something. Just remove some of the excess on this one. And again, what we do now is we start adding that brown. Okay, back into the brown. And again, we just add the brown. Just dabbing the brown on. And taking a little bit of brown, the paint off, adding a little bit more brown, taking it off, or dabbing it off, should I say. What it is, you're trying to get a very worn look to the metal. You don't want it absolutely shiny because it's not going to be shiny. It's a war mammoth. You want it to look like it's been through the wars, you know. And so that metal wants to look as worn as possible. And you can see the difference now. You can see where I've painted this one, and you can see on the tusk where the other metal part is, and the difference is absolutely incredible. And it's such a simple thing to do to, you know, enhance your miniature and make it look absolutely fab. What I'll do is I shall do this part here. I'll do this little tusk as well, just to show you the tusks. Let's see what time we're on. We're doing okay for time. Now, next Monday, I will be doing another Bones 5 miniature. I'll show you that before we finish the show later. But I will be doing the Troll Bridge. Thank you for following. I'll be doing the Troll Bridge. So what we're going to do again, so you can see what I'm up to, is I'm adding the black. Just adding that black, letting it roll down. Now I'm taking it away before it actually runs into the rest of my miniature. So by using my tissue, thank you for following. So just by using my tissue here, it just works fantastic. Again, we're taking away the ink wash. Ink wash is a blessing, but it can be a curse. If you have not got any control of your ink washes, it will go into all the places you don't want that ink wash to go. So this is why I actually do my ink washing just like this. I always keep an eye on it. You have to keep an eye on pooling. One of the main worst things using ink washes, of course, is pooling, because once you've added that ink wash, you will find it keeps on running into the recesses, so you do need to keep an eye on that. And as you can see, that's looking absolutely gorgeous now. And again, what we'll do, we'll wash my brush and we'll go back into the brown ink wash and we'll just highlight this with a little bit of the brown. We're just going back and forth with the brown, and now we're going to push the brown with our tissue, and that's kind of blending it in with the black, and it just gives a slight tarnish, a slight dirty feel to that metal. And of course, once that's all dried as well, you can highlight, you can edge all the parts of the metal as well. So I'll show you once more on this side. Again, wash my brush. All we're doing is we're adding that black ink wash from the top. Don't overload the brush, of course. And we just let the ink wash go down, not too far, and then we take it away before it goes onto the rest of the miniature and ruins it. So we're just adding that black ink wash and then taking it away before it pulls, but it's leaving a beautiful effect, a beautiful tarnished look to that metal. And again, wash my brush, we go back into the brown. And we just take away. And there you are. That's a simple way to get yourself some very nice looking metal effects on your Mammoth. Now this is almost dry, so what I can do is I can start showing you the edging. I won't do all the metal, but what I'll do now is I'll start showing you the edge work on the metal, so we can work on that. Absolutely beautiful miniature, and it's coming along so well. There we are. So a little recap on the metal areas. The metal I've just used, this is Vallejo Silver. It's an air spray, but I really like it as a paint on acrylic. You don't have to use it in your airbrush. You can use it as a paint on. It's lovely. It's a lovely paint, and as you can see, it gives a nice effect. Now what I've done then is I've added my black wash. I've started taking off with a tissue and just dabbing with the tissue to take away the excess and leave a nice effect to the metal. And then of course I've added that brown, and again just dabbed, and that's all you do, and you get this beautiful effect to all your metal areas. Now we can go one step further, and I'll show you that now, and that's using that silver again. There's nothing like a nice spot of edging to make your miniature stand out. Okay, now edging, very simple. Again, I'm using the same brush. We're not going for any special brushes or anything. I thought someone would get that. It would have to be Shank, wouldn't it? All we're going to do is we're moving a bit closer, and all I'm doing is I'm going around the edge of all the metal areas, and this will just make it stand out. It'll just catches the light. I mean, there's a buckle there anyway, so that needs doing. Just on the edges here, so again, tiny little bit. Bottom of this will be perfect, so just on the bottom there, and across the top here, I'm using the side of my brush. If you notice, let me show you if I get a bit closer. When I do my edge work, I got a lovely point on the brush. But what I'm doing, if you can just see the brush where the paint is, I am actually using the side of my brush. I'm not painting like so. I'm not painting like this. I'm painting with the edge. So I'm actually going along like this. I'm not going like so. I'm painting with the side of my brush. Oh my goodness. Okay, carrying on. And once again, we are going along the edging. And we can add a little bit to the here. Just pulling the paint around. And just on each one of the marks here, what we can do is just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit there. And a tiny bit there. And a tiny bit there. And we can highlight each top of the little bits that poke out from the nose there. So we can just go on each one on the top. 1, 2. See, now I'm using my brush like a normal brush. There we are. And we just go to the top area, and I say this on every show. I always imagine the light source is coming down. You imagine the light source is coming directly down on top. So what you try to do is you get all the places that you think that light is hitting. And what else I like to do as well is, see on the top here, let's see if I can get a better focus. Goodness me. Anyway, just for the top of the metal there, I can just go and add little streaks across the top there. That'll just give us a top light. That's all you need to do. And of course, these top areas here, we can just go across the tops. Let's add a little bit of light to the top. And the same to this one and to this one, if you can see what I'm doing. There we are. So we're just adding that light source to each one on the top of those horns. There we are. As you can see, it's absolutely looking fab. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I am going to show you the miniature that I'm going to be painting for next Monday. This is about as far as I can show you tonight for this actual mammoth. What I'll do to finish off the mammoth is, of course, I'll paint that base there, and that will all be highlighted and painted, and add some flocking. With the tusks, actually, yes, I can show you the tusks. We got enough time. Now, for the tusks, for the ivory, now there's what I'm going to use for the tusks is I'm using soft tone ink wash. This is by Army Painter. It's absolutely gorgeous. And again, we'll do that tissue effect with the tusks. What we're doing is we're adding this ink wash, and then we're removing it. And then for the ends of the tusks, we go back to our tusk ivory and add some white into the tusk ivory, and then we just highlight the ends to make them lighter. So what we need to do is just add this first. I'll show you on this little one. Then we'll get some more tissue. Let's see if we can get some focus. You want to see what I'm doing? Okay, so again, we are going straight into the ink wash, and we're going right around. This ink wash is perfect for what we're going to do. Now what we need to do is remove that ink wash before it dries. So we're starting from the bottom, and we're going to start taking away that ink wash, leaving it heavy at the top and then lighter at the bottom. So we're taking away nearly all the ink wash from the bottom of the tusk. See how it's gone nice and bright at the bottom? And we're getting a lovely effect going up, and then it's dark at the top of the tusk, and that's how you want your tusks to look. You you want dark at the top going down into light. So I'll show you again on the other tusk. Did you all catch that? Did you all catch that? Okay, so once again we go over the whole miniature. Let me get a better focus for you. We go over the whole tusk with our ink wash. Like I say, you've got to be quite fast. Lots of painters would be horrified at the way I do things, because it's too easy. A lot of painters wouldn't be able to just use an ink wash and get away with it. They would have to do tons and tons of wet blending and highlighting. This way is a nice simple way. Like I say, my channel is to help you get your miniatures looking great to a tabletop standard. So all we're doing is going down the tusk, and then at the bottom of the tusk we remove that ink wash. So as you can see, see how we got that lovely light at the bottom of the tusk, and then it gets darker and darker and darker, and then at the top of the tusk you've got your darkest areas. So that's how you do your tusks. Absolutely super fast and easy. And of course, once that ink wash is dried, you can still then add a highlight. What I shall be doing is on the ends as well, I'll be doing a dry brush with some white and that tusk ivory just to finish off those tusks. Hello Tim, how are you? So there we are. That's about all I can show you for this one tonight. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the miniature that we're going to be painting for next Monday. And of course it is one of my ultimate favourites again from the Bones 5 Kickstarter. So what I'll do as well is I shall be finishing all the mammoths off, and of course I will give you a full 360 of the finished miniature, and that'll be tomorrow. So tomorrow expect a full finished mammoth for your viewing pleasure. Right, okay, so let's get some focus again. I do apologise for my focus. I do try my best to... There we are. Now, next Monday's stream... Oh, and by the way, if you are on my painted tier, if you want to say give me a free mini, Claire will take your names for the free mini. So put your name down in chat if you want the free mini. Next Monday we shall be doing the troll bridge. So I'm going to open this one to show you, if I can find my scissors or knife or anything. There you go, that's a nice sharp knife there. So this will be painted on next Monday's stream. It's one of my absolute favourites. Now Renegade Shank will know why I like this one, and that's because of the little goats. It's got little goats everywhere that came with the actual... Get some focus in again. We've got some goats. There you go, that's a bit better. And it comes with some trolls as well. So this will be for next Monday. Like I say, you got all the little bits here. It comes with a troll swimming in the river, which is absolutely awesome. So you can have a little troll. Look, you can have a little troll going under the bridge. And you got all the little goats. So we have some little goats to paint up. And then we got, I think we got two trolls. I don't know what that is. It looks like the troll's balls, but I don't think people would have made them. Oh dear. And of course we've got another little base here. Oh, that's for little rocks. There you go. So we've got a little rock base. Oh, they're eggs. They're not So of course we've got some little let's move that a little bit more. It's a good set. It's a very nice set. So we've got some little eggs. They go in there. Little troll eggs by the looks of it. But what a fab set this was. I think I'm not sure how much it was. I think it's about $14 on the Kickstarter. Absolutely awesome price. I'm not going to stick it all together. What I'll do is I'll do a little 360 unboxing for you all. But I just wanted to show you what we are going to be doing. So you get one troll standing up. You get one troll sneakily swimming under the bridge there. You get lots of little goats for the trolls to nibble on. So what I'll probably do is I shall mount this troll bridge onto a little diorama base, and we'll make a lovely little diorama next Monday with this set. In fact, what I could do is we could make a little river system if you like, and I can show you the water effects from making a nice little river. It's a very simple thing. I use the water texture effects by Veleca. So next week we shall make a little troll bridge with water running underneath, and that will be great fun. Awesome fun. So there we are. Thank you everybody so much for popping on and seeing me tonight. Thank you everybody that followed. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the cheers. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and like I say, it was a fast, quick tutorial. Hopefully you'll all have a go at painting your mammoths.